Hjertelig velkommen til en ny episode av Uno, og nok en gang har vi æren av å ha en særdeles stor mann med en stor karriere bak seg. Og her er jeg sikker på at det blir mange gode historier, så fest setebeltene og gjør dere klare. It's an honor to have you here, John O'Shea.
Thank you, Fredrik. No, looking forward to the conversation we're going to have.
Brilliant. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Enjoying the time here in Oslo. It's obviously been a few years since I've been back here, so great to come back and see a lot of the fans and hopefully see a Manchester United win against Leeds.
Maybe we'd like to have this even closer to you so you can sit more comfortable.
No problem.
Yeah. What are you doing nowadays, John?
Coaching. I'm coaching with the Irish national team.
Yeah.
Since I finished playing, obviously I finished playing down at Reading and started coaching with the first team there. That was always the kind of plan in my mind after finishing playing. So in my early 30s, I started to take my coaching licenses, and last year I got the pro license.
Yeah,
UEFA pro license. So now hopefully one day I'll give the head coach role or management role a go. So no, I'm getting great experience. I've worked with the Irish under-21 team as well, and now I'm up working with the senior team too. Yeah. So look, it's brilliant. You're working with great players and great staff as well. The manager, Stephen Kenny, is a great person to work with as well. So he's worked very hard in his career to get to the pinnacle, which is managing your country. So it's brilliant to be learning from him. And Keith Andrews as well, a player I played alongside for Ireland too. So good people. And Dean Kiley, he's the goalie coach. He's working at Crystal Palace too. So I played with Dean for Ireland too. So no, it's a great staff and one I'm really enjoying working with.
Yeah. We are not kids anymore, John, but I guess we still have dreams. What is your biggest dream?
Biggest dream would definitely be to hopefully manage at the highest level possible.
And that would be Manchester United, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, managing in the Premier League would be incredible. But you know, you have to obviously earn the right to do that. And then obviously managing to manage your country at some stage too would be incredible. Look, you have those hopes and dreams as a player. When you start off playing as a kid, that you hope to play for your country, you hope to play for the best club you can.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping to get that experience under my belt, learning from good people, good managers, good coaches, and hopefully one day take the step to be a manager as well.
Yeah, Ole had a dream, and he achieved it.
Incredible. Yeah, it was incredible. I remember we drew United in the FA Cup when I was at Reading, and obviously I'm walking out, and Ole, it was the manager. It was brilliant to see, because I know how passionate he was about football and about Manchester United especially too. So when he brought the club back to a level of competitiveness, and it was brilliant to see, because I know how much, as I mentioned, he loves football. Yeah.
I asked Wes Brown this question, and I found his answer really interesting. If you were me and you had the opportunity to ask John O'Shea one question only, what would that question be?
What would that question be? Wow, you done me here. What was Wes's?
The one tackle he went into after like 90 seconds of a game, and he broke his ankle and was out for 6 months.
Wow.
So that was kind of a regret he had.
Okay.
Do you have any untold stories?
I suppose the time I left Manchester United, I had 1 year left on my contract, and I'm probably thinking now, if I had to go back in time, I had a great relationship with the manager, and maybe I should have took that risk to stay at Manchester United for one more season, and then see what happened then. But because of the relationship I had with Sir Alex, I felt we always spoke about the amount of game time I was playing or getting, and he felt it was going to be a bit more of a challenge to get the amount of games that was going to keep me happy. And obviously the offer that was there from Sunderland too. So maybe that one, it'd be to see if I'd rolled the dice and waited one more season.
Yeah, because no disrespect to Sunderland or Stadium of Light, but Manchester United is the big stage.
Exactly.
How was it to leave United for Sunderland?
Yeah, it was difficult, but also you knew you were going to a fantastic club, really well supported club. They just finished 10th in the Premier League, Obviously, my mate Wes had just gone there too.
Yeah.
So, no, look, it was one of them. I always kind of describe it as that my time at United was like a fantasy. It's a dreamland because you're obviously challenging for leagues, you're challenging for the Champions League. And then the football reality came into play at Sunderland because Steve Bruce got sacked after 3-4 months.
Yeah.
We had 7, 8, 9 managers over so many years. It was incredible. The turnover of managers, the turnover of players in the squad, trying to build new atmospheres, create a good environment. And it was a challenge, but look, it was an incredible time too because, there was some difficult moments at Sunderland, but also some very special times as well.
What was the biggest challenge for you personally, going from a club-winning team, winning trophies kind of all the time, to go into a team that were battling against relegation?
Yeah, it was difficult because obviously you had that expectation to winning trophies, to understanding that you're not going to be winning most of the games in the season. It was a difficult mentality, one to switch. But you're just hoping that you have that experience as a player to hopefully pass on to the younger members in the squad to realise what it takes to stay competitive in the Premier League. And thankfully, look, we did that for a good few number of years.
Yeah.
But it was as I'm talking about wanting to be a head coach, all the managers that came into Sunderland, I was speaking about it the other day, were really good managers. And you could see over their careers the success that they've had, whether it be Sam Allardyce or David Moyes or Martin O'Neill, like Dick Advocaat, the incredible, really experienced managers, and they just found it difficult at that time at Sunderland as well, and barely any of those managers stayed at Sunderland for longer than one season. So it was a challenge, but it was also good that I never lost against Newcastle, so that was always always a bonus. I wish we could have played them every week.
Yeah. How did your role kind of change from being one of the players at United to going as a high profile player coming with a lot of trophies, high expectations probably? How did your role change from the one club to the other?
Yeah, it's just obviously I just entered. I was into my 30s. I was kind of coming in as captain of Sunderland to a degree. Lee Cattermole obviously was a big player for Sunderland at the time too, and Lee was brilliant in terms of the experience that he'd had. He'd been captain of, I think he was captain of Middlesbrough when he was 17, 18 years of age, so Lee was a great character and a brilliant player too for Sunderland. So to have him help out as well in the dressing room was brilliant. But it's just, as you mentioned, you're trying to lead by example and getting the players to understand. Well, we know we're not going to be winning every week, but to bounce back as quickly as you could. And when we went on good runs, it was the atmosphere in the stadium was electric at times. It was an intimidating place to play, and hopefully they've started to turn the corner now as well. They've very unlucky Tony Mowbray. Obviously, I got the chance to work last year with Alex Neil too, so he brought them up from League One back to the Championship, and obviously Tony Mowbray now is the manager, and they were unlucky they didn't get through in the playoffs, but I think they'll go close again this season. Yeah.
So let's get back on track. Go back to your United career. You won a hell of a lot of trophies, of course. Which, if you have to choose, which trophy do you rank on top?
Oh, it's difficult. Look, the Premier League, the 5 Premier Leagues, each one is just as good as the other, believe me.
Yeah.
Because you know the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
The consistency, you want to show that you're the best team, the best squad in the Premier League that year. And the time for me, when I first really got into the team properly, the 02-03, my first league title, I think I played in nearly over 50 games that season, including like Europe and Cups. So that's always, I wouldn't say ahead of the others, but it's probably that little bit more special in terms of what I come to when I left Ireland, moved to Manchester, and you get the chance to play for Manchester United and you win the league. You kind of feel that it's an incredible moment, and all that sacrifice and dedication. has paid off, you know. But thankfully, it was only the start of the medals.
Yeah. How is it to like going back and talk about these moments and these trophies? How is it for you to talk about it?
Yeah, look, it's brilliant. It's amazing to cherish the memories, because even the other day when you whatever former players you might meet, or it's just a really at the time you're so engrossed in maintaining the level of staying competitive. We enjoyed it. We had great parties afterwards. We really enjoyed it, but you're just moving on to the next one. That was the mentality at the club, you know. Right, here we go again. We'll enjoy the night, but bang, next day there's a challenge. There's the next challenge. Teams were getting better. Chelsea, whatever it was going to be, there was a challenge to the title. So you had to refocus, get yourself ready to go again. The manager was going to improve the squad. He was going to bring new players in, and you had to fight for your place. So it was enjoy it for a few days, but then straight back at focus to being successful again.
How was that for you to constantly be like to fight for your place and even playing in so many different positions? Yeah,
but look, it was brilliant because I spoke about it earlier. The manager had a trust in me, whether it be Shazy, I need you to play centre midfield. We're going away to Spartak Moscow, or I need you to sit in midfield. Whatever was needed, that the manager had a trust in me to do a job for him. That was key to. It's one of those things I'd encourage. Yeah, people say if you had us just stuck to one position, would that have helped you more? I'd argue that players need to be more adaptable. You see it now, players that can play in a few positions, they're kind of like incredible. Look at what he can do. But if back in my time, it was like, hold on a minute, he's a utility player.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, they're so adaptable. What a player he is. Whereas I would argue, if you have players in your squad that can cover positions like that, they're very valuable to the squad.
Yeah. Talking about trust, there are a lot of golden and memorable moments throughout your career, and I want to talk to you about some of them. And since you mentioned trust, I think the biggest proof that Ferguson trusted you is when he put you in goal against Spurs. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, it was incredible, but I think the trust one was easy there because we were 4-0 up.
Yeah.
So I felt going in goal. I played as a national sport in Ireland, Gaelic football.
Yeah.
So it was comfortable to me. You can solo the ball, catch the ball in Gaelic. So Rio fancied it, but once I told Gaz, I've played Gaelic. Gaz took control of it and said, no, Rio, Shazy's going to go in. So it was a difficult one because obviously Edwin, you saw he'd got all the subs have been made, and Edwin got a bang into the nose. And but thankfully, it was the scariest bit. Obviously, I made a good challenge on Robbie Keane.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
I've surprised him a little bit.
Yeah.
But the weirdest bit was just taking the goal kicks.
Yeah,
it was weird because obviously I'd never technically never took a goal kick out, and obviously the crowd are giving you a bit of stick too. But it was brilliant going up towards the United fans at the end as well, and they're singing United's number one, and it was quite funny. But no, it was great that we raised some money afterwards for a charity in Ireland. Raffled the jersey off as well, so it was really good.
Did you get nervous or did you just enjoy it?
I was only nervous when I was taking the goal kicks.
Yeah.
The rest of it was fine. I was disappointed. I came out for one cross. I should have caught it clean. I kind of flapped at it, so I was disappointed in that. But no, it was incredible. Good experience.
Next golden moment. United are in the Champions League quarter-final in the 2002-2003 season. We're playing against Real Madrid. Any idea where I'm about to go?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the nutmeg on Luis
Figo.
Yeah.
It's incredible because it's just a moment in the game, and obviously he's an attacking player.
Yeah.
And what a player too, obviously, by the way. One of the best players in Europe. And he just, like some attackers do, he's not too interested in defending, is he? So he shut me down a little bit too lazily, shall I say, and then it's just too good an opportunity to miss, so just popped it through, and thankfully got the ball on the other side, and managed to keep possession. But it was such a big game anyway.
Yeah.
You're playing Real Madrid. And that's what the manager spoke to us about afterwards in the dressing room, the standard. Yeah, we'd won the game, but we'd obviously lost over the 2 legs. And he said, that's the standard we need to be getting. And it took a few years, but we reached that top level in Europe for a good few years.
How do you remember the audience reacting to the nutmeg?
Oh, it was just a huge roar. I just remember hearing a huge roar. And look, believe me, I'd have loved if Figo had a nutmeg me 25 times and we went on to win the game or get through, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it just so happened it was a good moment to. But it's funny how many people still remember it or recognise it. It was crazy.
The next one is 2005, I think. The goal, the chip on Highbury. How was that?
Yeah, brilliant. It was late in the game, and the manager had just said to me, "Just come on and stay in midfield. Just sit, just protect the back four again." And
you did the exact opposite.
Exact opposite. I just felt we were needing to kill the game off here. So no, it was. I remember Gabby Heinze made a run down the left-hand side, and I managed to just kind of keep an eye on where Scholesy was going, because obviously Scholesy was playing in midfield. And I thought, if Scholesy gets this, I can make a little run here. And it was only Scholesy was probably going to find that pass, playing around the corner. Just had a little check to see if I was offside or not, and then managed to chip Almunia. It was nice. It was
a brilliant goal.
Yeah, it's one of those you practice sometimes in training, but they don't come off a lot.
Yeah,
sometimes they do, but no, to do it in a game, to execute what you tried was brilliant.
Because that was my next question, like, where did you get that from? But you actually practice it.
Yeah, because over the few weeks beforehand, or generally in training, we'd be doing quite a lot of practice shooting drills and different angles you're shooting from, not just straight in at goal. So there was a few times we had practiced it.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, there was more times they were going over the crossbar than under it. So it was nice when it came off in a game like that.
Yeah, because if I remember right, when you turn around to your teammates, you look quite surprised.
Yeah, I think that was the cameraman more so than me. The camera, he missed my arms out. I was thinking, this is my Cantona moment. Yeah. And the cameraman's in shock. He's going, look at his face. But no, it was brilliant, because it was such. The battles we had with Arsenal over the years were really good.
Yeah.
You know, they were really good games. So to finish off that game, I remember even looking at, when you've watched it back a few times, the manager and Carlos Queiroz, the look on their faces too was brilliant, because they're thinking, I've just told him to stay in midfield.
Yeah.
What's he doing? But they were very happy afterwards.
You played mostly defender, but I also played in midfield. Why didn't you play more up front?
My school teacher, one of the school teachers, always tried to play me up front.
Yeah.
When I was younger, playing for the school team. I enjoyed it, but it was one of them I just felt more comfortable looking ahead on the pitch, if you know what I mean, rather than with your back to play.
Yeah.
So no, look, it's one of those roles that you hope you see it at the minute. It's such a crucial part of the team, and it was difficult. It was difficult to get into the team at the best of times. So up front was going to be a lot more difficult. But no, look, it was a string to the bow that was very important for me, to have that adaptability to play in a few positions.
Yeah. Next one is the goal on Anfield, injury time 2007. Take us back.
Look, because I think the thing for me is when it's great to score a goal and you win the game, but what it means for the rest of the season, or what it meant at that time, it gave us a big boost, because the teams watching that game would have think, United are going to drop some points here. We're down to 10 men late in the game. Could Liverpool get a winner against us? And obviously we managed to flip that and get, it's almost like bonus points that you're not expecting. You always know when Ronaldo's taking a free kick.
Yeah.
No matter what his angle, crazy, stupid angle he has, he's going to shoot a goal.
The rebound.
And that's what it was. So I'm anticipating he's going to have a shot at goal. Hopefully it causes the keeper a few problems. Thankfully it did. And I'm there ready to that was a kind of a striker's instinct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was ready to pounce, and no, it was an amazing feeling. I just had to. People laugh about it, saying you nearly put it over the bar.
Yeah.
And I kind of hold on a minute. I had to put it in the roof of the net because the keeper was diving. You know, so brilliant, amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And then you're running away to try to get down to the United fans as quickly as you can.
Of these moments I've mentioned for you now, the nutmeg, Highbury, goalkeeper, Anfield, which one do you remember the most, or which one's your favourite moment?
Look, if you're scoring a winner at Anfield, I think that just edges it. I think that would just edge it.
I think you perhaps remember this one as well, the meeting with Sporting and Ronaldo.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
Yeah, look, it was the end of a tough pre-season tour. We'd come back from America and we flew straight to Lisbon. And obviously there was a bit of talk beforehand about we're looking at this player. Does Manchester United are interested in him? And he was just so when the manager names the team, half the boys some of the senior players are on the bench. And they're all delighted because everyone was jet lagged, bad sleep, waking up at strange hours because of getting used to the jet lag flying back from America. So anyway, I'm starting right back. I'm looking up. I see this kid, and he's like jumping just before the start of the game. He's jumping up and down, warming. And I'm like, this fella looks ready to go. And he knew probably beforehand that United were interested, and basically he put on a performance to say, "Let's take him. Yeah. He's ready to go." And it's funny. Obviously, Rio's exaggeration over the years of Shazy needed oxygen at half time. It's not like Rio to exaggerate anything, but no, look, I take it as a compliment. Yeah. Because it was if Ronaldo hadn't have played that well, we might have waited and he didn't come that season or whatever. So no, it was brilliant that we were able to sign him on the back of that as well, because what he's gone on to do has been incredible.
How was it for you to play against him? Because we've heard the stories from Rio and other people, but from your point of view personally, how was it to play against him for those minutes?
Just for that game against Lisbon? Yeah. Look, you knew he was... The thing was, physically, although he wasn't as big as he got, you knew he had a powerful jump, a powerful leap. He could go inside, outside, left foot, right foot. So you're thinking already, he's giving you multiple problems because you're not sure which way he can go. And that's, you'd learn about... Look, it was brilliant to be able to train against him then for so many years when you're up against him in training. So you're learning against one of the best too. But for that night, it was difficult. But if you go back and watch the highlights, as I talk about certain exaggerations, he did okay. But it wasn't as if he did that well either.
So I've heard stories about like negotiations starting in the changing room after the game, straight after the game. There are also stories about like the players even telling Fergie, "We have to sign this boy."
Yeah, I think the senior players at the time, I think the manager would have seen it himself. I think there was discussions of would he stay on loan, sign, go back to Sporting Lisbon and stuff. But everyone saw that night he was more than ready to come and be a part of it, and thankfully it was only a matter of days, and he was on the plane to Manchester. So it was, listen, it worked out brilliantly. It worked out brilliantly for everyone. Yeah,
were you one of the players telling Fergie to sign him?
I was like, I was taking as gaffer. If he was able to do that to me, I said he must be some player. Yeah, he must be some player. Yeah. So no, it was it was great that, as I said, sometimes you see that pressure might have affected certain players. So a kid knows Manchester United are watching him. Can he perform? Will he perform? Next thing he just went, yeah, no problem. Yeah, showed the level. He was up for it, and you could tell that right from the start.
Yeah, Going back to White Hart Lane, Eric has a question for you. And did Van der Sar share the clean sheet bonus with you?
No. He kept that. Hopefully he's obviously had a little situation at the minute, Edwin. So fingers crossed he's on the road to recovery.
Yeah,
we need him back in full health. He's a fighter, so hopefully he'll be okay soon. But no, great guy, great to have. He gave a calmness. He gave a calmness to the whole defence, the team in general. When you saw Edwin in goal, there was a great calmness. But he was never one to share the clean sheet bonus. No, he kept it to himself.
He did, yeah. Okay, Sir Alex Ferguson, how was it to play under him?
Yeah, brilliant. But also, you have to think of what a person he was. He created groups, environments of lots of different characters, nationalities, and he got the best. He got the best out of everyone. But also for someone that was so understanding and had individual relationships with everyone, he also had to be horrible at times, nasty at times, tough, but understanding at the back of it. There was one reason why, and that was for Manchester United to become better, to keep being better. So if you understood that, you didn't take the criticism too personally, because obviously that's a winning culture. You have to be able to take criticism, take it on board, as long as it was constructive. It's constructive criticism is always is a better one to receive, but sometimes it has to be a little bit more constructive. And that's the balance he was able to get, knowing what players needed what to get the best out of each one. So, no, for me, he was a very influential figure, and thankfully, I still speak to him every few months. And no, he's in good spirits.
Yeah. What is your personal standout moment between you and Sir Alex Ferguson?
Well, probably a funny one, when I was just about to sign. I was in Castlefield, and I'd come over to Manchester with my mum and dad. I turned down, say, lots of other teams close to going to Celtic. So I'm meeting the manager and Les Kershaw in the Castlefield, and we're talking about what. And the manager said, "Okay, we'll give you a 6-month contract." So I'm looking at, I'm going, hold on a minute. I thought it was going, and then Les Kershaw thankfully just interrupted. "Oh, boss, no, John will be signing." Because I can imagine the manager at that time was brought in to see maybe 10, 20 younger players. Yeah. This introduction, welcome to the club. And he was like, Les taps him on the shoulder. "No, John's going to be signing a 3-year deal, boss." "Oh, are you, son? Well done. Welcome to the club." I was like, phew. We got that out of the way. But that was the first time meeting him properly, and it was a brilliant experience. But also knowing that the background checks that are done to find out what his family is like, what the player is like, what the person is like, that he gets an understanding of people's backgrounds, what their families did, what their dad worked at, stuff like that. And straight away, he's building up that relationship that he uses to get the best out of you.
What was his biggest or most important quality?
I suppose he was able to reshape squads, but have that communication and trust, all those kind of little... how can you keep a balance of 25 players in a squad? The skill set to keep those happy and keep them competitive, that you're kind of building up a bond with everyone. Yeah, winning helped, don't get me wrong, but still you had only 11 players to pick to start each game, so he was able to get an amazing balance, and that's, I suppose, comes down to the man management skills were amazing.
Getting into coaching yourself, every time we talk about Sir Alex Ferguson, he gets praise for everything he did. But are there anything going into coaching you would do different to him?
I wouldn't do. You'd have to have your own style, your own quality, but I'd be foolish not to do a lot of things similar. Obviously, you'd have to be a bit more careful, I think, with the criticism.
Yeah.
With the players today, but also making them realise that what's required.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's the tone.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd have to tone it down a little bit.
Not the hairdryer treatment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, not the hairdryer. Definitely, it'd be a bit less powerful anyway.
Yeah.
A bit less powerful, I think. But same principles.
Yeah.
Same principles.
I think Solskjaer called the players snowfleks these days.
Right. Well, look, it's just a different environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we have to understand. The environment that they're being brought up in terms of digital, everything's short, quick, snappy. Whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's all quick, instant information, and you got to understand that. And they're dealing with a lot of different things that we had to deal with growing up too. So you have to understand that as well.
Do you have this kind of one advice or tool that Ferguson kind of used on you that you can take with you?
It's to build that relationship with people as soon as you can, to get an understanding of what makes them, to get the best of them, to see not just everyone has a weakness or everyone has faults, but to see the good things they have, focus on the good things more rather than the bad things. I wouldn't say bad things, it's everyone has different habits or on the pitch, different skill sets. Focus on what they're really good at, as well as telling them that they need to improve certain aspects. But I think focusing on the positive rather than the negative is a key one. Where
is John O'Shea in 5 years' time?
5 years' time. Hopefully I'll be back in Oslo. And no, hopefully managing at the highest level possible. Whether that's international football or club football. Hopefully it's with a good team and at a good level, and that'll be a plan. But also, once you're looking after your family, wife and kids, all happy and healthy, that'll be important too, because they've been a great support to me in my career too. So you have to give a bit of family time as well and help the kids.
That's important. Yeah. We're about to go into Ferg time, but we have a few quick questions before we finish it off. Our listeners many of them have asked, what do you think about the signing of Mason Mount?
Look, really good. You're getting you'd argue, okay, we paid a bit too much, but that's what you have to do sometimes to get the player. Now he's in the building. You have a player that's every manager at Chelsea picked him. English manager loves him, picks him. You know, I think the club. I'm hoping he's a proper character that will help the dressing room. He'll show a quality in terms of his. Obviously, he's a good player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So his technique, his attitude, but his work rate, his energy that he'll bring to the midfield. I think he'll add goals, he'll add assists. But he's after getting the number 7 shirt as well. Yeah. So look, incredible, fair play to him, and I just hope he settles in quickly. Because I know you sign a player like that, you just want him to stay fit and healthy, get a good pre-season under him, and I think he'll be a really good addition. Because look, he's only, I think he's 24. Yeah. He's been successful already. He's won the Champions League already, and I think it's a good addition to the team, definitely.
How did you react to him being given the number 7 shirt?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm sure he wasn't going to turn it down, because obviously so it's great that he's had that confidence to go, no, that's no problem. I'm happy with being number 7, and he realises the players that have worn it, but he'll just have to embrace the challenge, and I'm sure he will. He looks the type of kid that has enough confidence and quality to back it up, so I wish him well.
Yeah. Next one is, what do you think about the departure of David De Gea?
Yeah, look, it's unfortunate how it's kind of just come about the way it has, and I'm sure hopefully someone that I think he was there 12 years, I think, an incredible serve, and how you think of some of the seasons where he was player of the year, where the team might have finished if it wasn't for David, wouldn't be worth thinking about, you know. So Hopefully in the future they'll be able to come to some maybe arrangement where they can give him a good send off as well. And because look, it's incredible. I think he's nearly close to 600 appearances as well for the club. Incredible. So look, it's the harsh reality of football too. Sometimes it can't always be as perfect as we want it to be. Things go on that we don't have full. People are guessing about things in terms of contracts and stuff like that. No one knows for sure what went on. So hopefully David gets sorted with a new club soon and he'll move on, because I'm sure he feels that he's got a couple of more years to give, because he was still performing, as you saw last season. He was there might have been a couple of mistakes, but what keeper doesn't make mistakes, you know? Yeah. And managers have that idea in their head about what type of keeper they need for the team. And if Fredrik N feels that he needs a different style to help the team progress, I think you have to back him with it. And if it is Onana who comes in from Inter Milan, he definitely has a certain style about him. So it'll be exciting to watch, hopefully. Yeah, because the decision of letting him go, would you prefer to keep him, or can you understand why Erik ten Hag wants to have a new keeper in? Yeah, I can understand it. Yeah, I can understand it if he's looking for a certain style. With his feet. And that's, look, everyone has, as mentioned, about positives and negatives. There'll be certain areas in certain people's games where they need to improve on, and if that's the area, if that's the reason why it happened with Pep Guardiola and Joe Hart, he came into Man City and look, I need something different. Yeah. Doesn't mean you're a bad keeper. No, Joe's still winning the league up in Celtic, playing to a really good standard, and it just happens that managers have different ideas. Erik ten Hag, what are your thoughts on the work he has done so far? Yeah, solid, real solid in quality. Solid in quality. I think he's slowly bringing a determination and a steeliness, a quality to the team. When you see Martinez, Casemiro, in particular, those ones are just the quality in and around that then as well too. I think it's slowly but surely, as I think, he's just the discipline that he's brought in, whether someone's missing for training or late for a team meeting or stuff like that. Small details, but it's so crucial that the players realise, I'll be dropped out of the team here if that happens. So he's brought in a good discipline, and look, he's some really, really good attacking play too. When you see some of the goals, obviously the team got last season, really attacking, exciting football, taking control in games too. So lots to look forward to, hopefully. Yeah. What are your expectations for the new season? It's going to be tough because, you're hoping the team will improve. If they did get Mason Mount in, a couple more obviously signings, then we obviously know that a couple of strikers, or definitely one striker in the building would be brilliant. And if you get those players in, it's look, Man City, you'd argue they could have improved again with one or two signings that they brought in or looking to bring in. Arsenal will have improved. You can't imagine Liverpool and Chelsea having seasons like they did again. Newcastle are going to improve. Spurs. It's tough, but that's the beauty of it. United know they finished third last season. They got to improve again. And it's a challenge, but as I mentioned, the determination that the manager's bringing back into the squad, you can see glimpses of it, and I think that'll grow again. The confidence they got from winning the League Cup for certain players will be brilliant for them, and I think they'll have that hunger to win more trophies again. What is a successful season when you have won the League Cup, you've taken them back into the Champions League, and they ended up third in the league? That makes the expectations even higher. So what would be success for this season, in your opinion? Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we mentioned all the teams that you're thinking will get better, will improve. So that's more of a challenge again. But you have to, the manager will, I'm sure he'll be telling them, look, we will be going for the league. We want to win the league. At different stages last year, people thought I definitely thought United have a chance of winning the league and then obviously a few results just changed that quickly, because it was like as if we're really close to Man City here, and then just that little defeat, whatever it was at the time, cost you. So you're hoping if you improve the squad, that when you are ready for those moments to win a game, that's going to bring you level at the top or make you go ahead on goal difference or whatever it might be, that you have the squad to do it. So look, it's going to be a challenge. They're not, depending on what new additions come in, I think they won't be far away. They won't be far away. I think they'll improve on last season. So if you're improving on last season, you're hoping it's another trophy.
Yeah.
Obviously the Champions League back, you're hoping to get to the latter stages of the Champions League. The squad in terms of Varane, Casemiro, their experience in the Champions League too. Incredible experience in the Champions League, so that's going to be crucial for the players too. Mount, Champions League experience too, so there's lots of players there with great experience in the Champions League and good, even recent experience in the Champions League, so that's going to be very helpful.
Yeah. One last question from our listeners to finish this off, John. What position did you feel most comfortable in?
Wow. Any the fullback positions really. The last couple of seasons I was mainly playing at right back, but because of the way the team played and we were dominating lots of the games, you were just getting a chance to join in the attack lots of times. Obviously, we know you had to defend at times, but the way we were dominating possession, dominating games, you were really able to have an attacking side to your game too. So, and once I was playing, Fredrik, that was the big thing. Once I was playing, that was the key for me. And thankfully, over the course of playing, I think it was nearly 9 to 10 seasons with the first team. To have 5 Premier Leagues in that spell was special, and nearly 400 appearances too. So we'll take that.
You should be proud.
Yeah, exactly. I am. I am.
Thank you so much for your time, John. It was a huge pleasure for me. I hope you enjoyed it yourself.
Loved it. Pleasure. Thanks, Fredrik.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Og til dere som hører på, så håper vi at dere koser dere med praten med John O'Shea, og så er vi jo tilbake før dere vet ordet av det.